Now, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has been overseeing the training of Moscow's strategic deterrence forces, troops that are responsible for responding to the threats of nuclear war. The Kremlin has said in a statement, I quote, under the leadership of Vladimir Putin, a training session was held with ground, sea and air strategic deterrence forces, during which practical launches of ballistic and cruise missiles took place. State television showed Putin overseeing those drills from a control room, and the drills included the launch of test missiles from the Kamchatka Peninsula in the Russian Far East and from the waters of the Barents Sea in the Arctic. The exercises involved Tu-95 long-range aircrafts, and strategic deterrence forces are the ones that are meant to respond to nuclear threats. Now, these drills come just hours after Russia's defense minister dialed his counterparts in India and China and spoke about how Ukraine was planning to launch a dirty bomb strike. Well, Rajnath Singh responded saying there should be no use of nuclear weapons by any party. And that message, of course, coming as Russia's defense minister claimed Ukraine was preparing to use a dirty bomb, that's a conventional bomb laced with radioactive, biological or chemical materials. America has since defended Ukraine, saying it's concerned about the false allegations Russia is currently making.
I just wanted to inform you that we have just asked for an AOB on the possibility of creation of dirty bomb in Ukraine by Ukrainian authorities. Ukraine has the capacity, Ukraine has all the reasons to do so, because we know that Zelensky regime wants to avoid, first of all, defeat. Secondly, wants to involve NATO for direct clash with Russia, which is very dangerous, and but which will be profitable for Zelensky regime to remain in power.
We're concerned when we hear this type of patently false disinformation emanating from the Kremlin. We know the Kremlin's track record when it comes to these types of claims. That's what, of course, what is the predicate, what ultimately undergirds our concern. We reject the transparently false allegation that Ukraine is preparing to use a dirty bomb on its own territory.
Maha Siddiqui joining us with the latest on that big story that we're tracking very closely indeed. Maha, the fact that Russia's defense minister first dialed his counterparts in India and China talking about how Ukraine was planning a dirty bomb attack, and now these nuclear drills, what are we to take away from all of this?
Well, certainly a serious escalation, if not on the ground, at least in the rhetoric that we are seeing, Ankita. And this is extremely dangerous, and that is why countries are treading with caution now. In that case, you've also seen that there have been at least 3 advisories that have been put out by India over the last 10 days. The last one coming only yesterday, which asks Indian citizens, anyone who remains in Ukraine, to immediately leave the country. The advisory also gives out numbers and helpline numbers of embassies on the countries neighboring Ukraine as well, just in case people are not able to reach out for help in Ukraine. And all this is largely happening because of the kind of nuclear rhetoric that has gone up over the last couple of days. The West is dismissing what Russia says as a false flag operation. They are suggesting that Russia is making these claims because they want to use nuclear weapons. On the other hand, Russia is claiming that Ukraine is looking at usage of a dirty bomb. And that rhetoric, while that rhetoric continues, we are seeing on the ground these exercises now being conducted by Russia. So even if on the ground we are not seeing an immediate escalation, there is a very dangerous escalation in rhetoric, which is extremely difficult now for both sides to handle because of the manner in which irresponsible statements are being made made about the use of nuclear weapons. India has once again cautioned all sides over here. And specifically when that call came to Rajnath Singh, India has said that the call was made at the request of the Russian Defense Minister, General Shoigu, who, when expressing concern over Ukraine's possibility of provocation by use of dirty bombs, said, in fact, Rajnath Singh said that neither side should resort to nuclear option. And that is the bottom line. India has been constantly saying that dialogue should be given a chance.
Maha Siddiqui, thanks very much indeed for joining us.